Father God, as this day slowly loosens its grip on my body, and the noise of the world begins to fade into the background, I come to you just as I am, not polished or prepared, but honest and open in this quiet moment before sleep. My thoughts are still moving. My heart is still carrying pieces of conversations, worries, and hopes from today, yet I choose to lay myself gently in your presence instead of holding everything alone. I recognize that even my breathing right now is a gift that I did not earn and could not sustain without you, and that awareness softens something tight inside me. Tonight is not about striving or fixing, but about surrendering what I cannot control into hands that have never failed me. I acknowledge that you have been with me through every hour of this day, even in moments I barely noticed you. As my body begins to slow, help my spirit also come to rest in the truth that I am safe with you. Let this night be a place of renewal rather than rumination, and a space where trust replaces tension. I admit, Lord, that when the day ends, the mind often becomes louder instead of quieter, replaying what went wrong and worrying about what tomorrow might bring. I bring those thoughts to you now, not pretending they do not exist, but refusing to let them rule over my peace tonight. You know every concern before I speak it, every fear before I name it, and every unanswered question that still sits heavy in my chest. I ask you to meet me here, in this honest place, and gently interrupt the cycle of anxious thinking with your steady presence. Remind me that rest is not avoidance, but obedience, and that trusting you includes allowing myself to sleep without guarding every outcome. Teach my heart that nothing important is lost when I rest in you. As I prepare to continue, I pause with gratitude that I am not alone in this quiet moment. Before we go deeper, take a calm moment and write this sentence in the comments. Tonight, I choose to rest in God's peace. If you feel led, you may also write your personal prayer request in the comments, trusting that God sees it and receives it with care. Lord, I invite your peace to settle over my mind like a gentle covering, not forced or rushed, but slowly and naturally, as only you can do. Let the sharp edges of stress soften as I remember that you are still working even while I sleep. I release the pressure to figure everything out tonight, knowing that wisdom will come in its proper time. Help me stop carrying tomorrow's burdens into a moment meant for rest. If there are unresolved matters weighing on me, I place them into your hands rather than holding them through the night. Teach me how to trust you, not only with my actions, but with my stillness. Let my thoughts grow quieter as my confidence in you grows stronger. God, I ask for your protection to surround me as I sleep, guarding my mind, my body, and my home with your presence. Protect me from anxious dreams, restless thoughts, and anything that seeks to disturb the peace you desire for me tonight. Let this room become a place of safety, where fear has no authority and worry loses its voice. I trust that you watch over me more carefully than I ever could watch over myself. Even when I am unaware, you remain attentive, faithful, and near. Thank you for being a refuge that does not close at night. I rest in the truth that I am covered by your care. As my body grows heavier with tiredness, I thank you for the gift of rest that you designed for my healing and renewal. Sleep is not weakness, but wisdom, and tonight I accept it as an act of trust. I let go of the urge to stay alert, prepared, or guarded, because you are already doing that for me. Restore my energy as I sleep, not only physically but emotionally and spiritually as well. If today drained me in ways I cannot fully explain, meet those places with your restoring grace. Let my rest be deep, uninterrupted, and gentle. I give you permission to work in me, even as I sleep. Lord, I reflect on this day with honesty, acknowledging both the moments I handled well and the moments I wish I could redo. I placed neither pride nor regret at the center of my heart tonight, but grace instead. Thank you for walking with me through imperfections and teaching me through experience, rather than condemnation. I trust that you are shaping me patiently, not pressuring me into instant growth. Help me release self-criticism that keeps my mind active when it should be at peace. Let forgiveness, both given and received, Settle my heart into calmness. I choose to end this day under grace, not judgment. God, when I think about tomorrow, I feel both hope and uncertainty, and I bring both honestly before you. I do not know what tomorrow will hold, but I know who will be with me in it. Help me resist the urge to rehearse problems that may never happen. Teach me to trust that you will give me strength when I need it, not all at once tonight. Let my confidence be rooted in your faithfulness, rather than my ability to anticipate every outcome. I rest in the assurance that you are already present in my future. Tonight, I choose peace over prediction. As I prepare to sleep, I thank you for the quiet ways you have supported me throughout this day, even when I did not notice at first. Thank you for moments of strength, moments of learning, and moments of grace that carried me through. I recognize that not everything went as planned, yet you remained constant. Help me remember that progress is often subtle and growth is rarely loud. I trust that you are working in me, even when change feels slow. Let gratitude anchor my heart as I drift toward rest. I end this day aware that you have been faithful. Lord, calm my nervous system and steady my breathing as I settle into sleep. Let my body release tension stored in places I may not even realize are tight. Teach me to physically rest as deeply as I spiritually trust. I welcome the stillness instead of resisting it. If my thoughts wander, gently bring them back to your presence. Let sleep come naturally, without struggle or frustration. I receive rest as a gift from you tonight. God, I place my loved ones into your care as I sleep, knowing I cannot watch over everyone at once. But you can. Protect them, guide them, and meet them where they are tonight. Release me from the burden of worrying for others through the night. Help me trust that your care extends far beyond my awareness. Let my heart feel lighter, knowing they are not solely dependent on me. Thank you for being a faithful guardian to those I love. I rest knowing you hold us all. As the night deepens, I surrender every lingering thought that still tries to keep me alert. I choose not to engage with stress, fear, or mental noise any longer. I acknowledge that rest is necessary for clarity, strength, and spiritual grounding. Thank you for inviting me into this moment of stillness. I accept your invitation without resistance. Let my awareness gently fade into peaceful sleep. I trust you completely as this day comes to a close. God, if there are lessons from today that need time to settle, allow them to rest in me without pressure to understand everything immediately. Growth does not always require constant reflection. Sometimes it needs silence. Help me accept that tonight is for restoration, not analysis. I trust that clarity will come when it is needed. Let my heart be unburdened by the need to resolve everything now. I place understanding into your timing. I sleep with peace, not urgency. As my eyes grow heavy, I thank you for the simple blessing of being able to rest in safety tonight. Not everyone has this gift, and I do not take it lightly. Thank you for shelter, quiet, and a place to lay my head. Thank you for sustaining me through another day. Let my sleep be gentle and renewing. I rest with gratitude, filling the space where worry once lived. I place myself fully in your care. Lord, I release control over my thoughts, my plans, and my expectations as I drift towards sleep. I no longer need to monitor or manage anything in this moment. You are capable, attentive, and trustworthy. Let my mind settle into stillness without effort. Teach me to trust you even when I am unconscious. Thank you for being constant, whether I am awake or asleep. I surrender to rest without fear. As the night continues, I trust that your peace remains active around me, guarding and restoring. Even in silence, you are present. Even in rest, you are working. Let my sleep be deep and uninterrupted. Let tomorrow find me renewed, not drained. Thank you for meeting me here tonight. I rest knowing you are near. I breathe deeply, allowing my body to relax completely under your care. Each breath reminds me that I am supported and sustained. I do not need to rush sleep or force rest. I allow it to come naturally. Thank you for being patient with me. Thank you for giving rest without condition. I trust you fully as I sleep. Lord, I place this entire night into your hands, confident that you will watch over me faithfully. I release every remaining worry with intention and trust. Let peace be the final thought that carries me into rest. Thank you for your presence that never leaves. Thank you for your love that does not depend on my effort. I sleep tonight, held by you. I remain still, receptive, and calm as sleep draws near. My heart is settled, my mind is quieting, and my body is ready to rest. I do not need to add anything more to this moment. I simply receive what you are offering. Thank you for peace. Thank you for rest. Thank you for being with me. I trust that this night is safe, meaningful, and held by you. I let go completely. I rest without fear. I sleep in peace. As the night continues to unfold quietly around me, I become more aware of how deeply my body longs to rest, and how patiently you invite me into that rest. There is a gentle pull towards stillness that I often resist during the day, yet here in the quiet it feels safe to let go. I notice how the absence of noise reveals thoughts I usually avoid, and instead of pushing them away, I bring them into your presence. You do not rush me or demand clarity, and that alone brings relief. I am learning that peace is not the absence of thought, but the presence of trust. Tonight, I allow trust to take the lead. I settle myself into the assurance that you are near. Sometimes, Lord, the night exposes emotions that daylight distractions keep hidden, and I acknowledge that without shame, there are feelings I did not have time to process today, moments that left marks deeper than I expected. I place those emotions before you gently, without trying to name or organize them perfectly. You understand what I cannot yet articulate. I trust that you are able to hold every unspoken weight with compassion. Teach me that vulnerability before you is not weakness, but honesty. Let this honesty soften my heart, rather than disturb my rest. I lean into your understanding. I reflect on how often I equate rest with inactivity, forgetting that rest itself is part of healing. My body and mind have carried more than I sometimes admit, and tonight I choose to acknowledge that truth. You designed rest, not as an escape, but as a renewal. Help me receive sleep without guilt or pressure, to remain productive. Remind me that I do not have to earn rest by exhaustion alone. Let this night restore what the day depleted. I accept rest as something you willingly offer. I open myself to renewal. Lord, I notice how my breathing slows when I stop trying to control it, and that teaches me something about trust. The more I release effort, the more naturally peace settles in. I bring that lesson into my spirit as well. I do not need to manage every thought to find calm. I simply need to remain open to your presence. Help me stay here, not drifting back into worry or anticipation. Let this moment be enough. I remain still with you. As my surroundings grow quieter, I sense the safety of being watched over without interruption. There is comfort in knowing that while I sleep, you remain fully attentive. I do not need to keep vigil over my own life tonight. You are not distracted, tired, or unaware. Your care does not dim when I close my eyes. This truth allows my shoulders to relax. I trust the one who does not sleep. I rest under your watchful care. I think about the parts of myself that feel fragile right now, the areas where confidence feels thin or uncertain. Instead of trying to strengthen myself by force, I place those fragile places into your hands. You have always been gentle with weakness, never demanding strength before offering support. I trust that you know how to care for what feels delicate in me. Let my vulnerability become a place of connection rather than fear. Teach me that being held is sometimes more important than being strong. I remain open to your care. God, there are moments when silence feels uncomfortable because it removes distractions. I rely on, tonight I choose not to fill the silence with noise or mental activity. I allow it to exist as a space where you are already present. Silence does not mean emptiness when you are near. It becomes a place of quiet communication beyond words. I rest in that quiet without needing to explain or understand it fully. Let silence become familiar rather than unsettling. I welcome this stillness. As sleep draws closer, I let go of the urge to revisit past conversations or imagine future ones. Those loops have kept me awake too many nights. I choose a different response now. I acknowledge those thoughts, then release them deliberately. I remind myself that nothing needs to be resolved at this hour. You will meet me with wisdom when the time is right. For now, rest is enough. I release the need to rehearse anything further. Lord, I place my physical body under your care as well, aware that it carries stress in ways I do not always notice. If there is tension stored in my muscles or weariness in my bones, meet it with your healing presence. Let my body respond naturally to rest, without resistance. Teach me to listen when my body asks for stillness. I trust that sleep is one of the ways. You restore balance. I allow my body to rest deeply. I receive physical renewal tonight. I recognize that my mind often clings to responsibility, even when responsibility has no place in the night. I gently remind myself that tomorrow's tasks do not require tonight's attention. You will provide clarity and strength when the moment comes. For now I am permitted to be still. I choose to trust your timing rather than my urgency. Let this truth quiet my thoughts. I step away from responsibility until morning. I remain at peace. God, I thank you for the unseen work you do while I sleep. Work that does not require my awareness or participation. You continue to shape, guide, and protect even when I am unconscious. That truth humbles me and comforts me at the same time. I do not have to be awake for your purposes to move forward. I rest knowing nothing important is paused when I sleep. Thank you for carrying what I cannot. I trust you completely. As the night deepens, I allow my awareness to soften instead of remaining alert. I do not need to guard myself against rest. You have already taken that role. If my thoughts wander briefly, I gently bring them back to the sense of being held. I do not criticize myself for restlessness. I simply return to trust. Let patience guide me into sleep. I remain calm and receptive. Lord, I consider the gift of another day completed, with all its effort, learning, and moments of endurance. I do not need to judge it as good or bad right now. It is simply finished, and that is enough. I place it into your hands without analysis. Tomorrow will unfold in its own time. Tonight, I release today fully. I rest without reflection. I choose peace. I feel gratitude beginning to surface quietly, not as excitement, but as a steady warmth. Gratitude for breath, for shelter, for the ability to rest without fear. These simple blessings ground me in the present moment. I allow gratitude to anchor my heart. It shifts my focus from what is unresolved to what is sufficient. Thank you for meeting my basic needs. Thank you for this moment of calm. I rest with appreciation. God, I let go of expectations about how sleep should feel or how quickly it should come. I remove pressure from the process. Sleep is not something I need to achieve. It is something I receive. I stop monitoring my own rest. I trust that my body knows how to respond when allowed. I give myself permission to drift naturally. I release impatience. I remain at ease. As I become less aware of time passing, I trust that this night is unfolding exactly as it should. I do not need to hurry it or control it. You are present in every moment of it. Let my awareness gently fade without fear. I rest knowing I am safe. I sleep, knowing I am cared for. I remain held by you. Lord, if dreams come, let them be peaceful. If silence comes, let it be deep. Either way, I trust you to guard my mind. I release any fear of disturbance or unrest. I do not need to anticipate problems. You are already present. Let my rest be undisturbed. I settle fully into sleep. I sense my body growing heavier, not from burden, but from relaxation. I welcome that sensation as a sign of letting go. I no longer need to stay alert. You have invited me into rest, and I accept. Thank you for patience as I unwind. Thank you for gentle care. I trust this process. I remain at peace. As consciousness fades, I entrust myself fully to your presence. I do not resist the transition into sleep. I do not hold on to the day any longer. I let go completely. You remain with me even as awareness dims. I trust you without reservation. I rest deeply now. The night continues quietly, held by your care. I am safe. I am at rest. I sleep in peace. As the stillness of the night settles more firmly around me, I become aware of how deeply rest begins not in the body, but in the heart. There is a quiet shift that happens when I stop resisting the slowing down and allow myself to be present without expectation. I notice how peace does not arrive all at once, but gently layers itself over my thoughts. You are patient with this process, never forcing calm, never demanding instant surrender. That patience teaches me something about your nature and about my own. I do not need to rush myself into rest to please you. I am allowed to arrive here slowly. Lord, there are parts of my heart that still feel guarded, even as I lie here, shaped by past nights of worry or disappointment. I bring those guarded places to you honestly, without pretending they are already healed. You do not shame me for being cautious or tired. Instead, you meet me where I am and invite trust without pressure. Help me loosen the grip I keep on protecting myself through constant awareness. Teach me that you are a safer guard than my own vigilance. Let my heart rest as deeply as my body longs to. I allow myself to feel held rather than alert. I think about how often I measure peace by the absence of problems, forgetting that peace can exist even when questions remain unanswered. Tonight, I choose not to solve or analyze what is unresolved. I accept that some things need time rather than thought. You are not threatened by uncertainty, and I do not need to be either. Let my mind stop reaching for conclusions that are not meant for this moment. I trust that clarity will come when it is needed. For now, peace is enough. God, I recognize how the night can magnify emotions that were quietly carried through the day. What felt manageable earlier can feel heavier now. I do not push those feelings away, nor do I let them take control. I bring them gently into your presence, knowing you are not overwhelmed by them. You see beneath the surface of every emotion and understand its origin. Thank you for being steady when I feel sensitive or exposed. Let your calm become the atmosphere around my heart. I rest within that calm. As my breathing becomes slower and deeper, I feel my body responding to the permission to rest. Muscles release tension. They have been holding without my awareness. I am reminded that rest often begins when I stop demanding performance from myself. You never asked me to be strong at all times. You invite me to be honest instead. Let my body learn what my spirit is practicing. I welcome this physical release as part of your care. I allow myself to soften fully. Lord, there is comfort in knowing that this night does not depend on my effort to be peaceful. You are already present, already working, already attentive. I do not have to maintain focus or concentration to remain in your care. Even if my thoughts drift, you remain steady. That truth removes pressure I did not realize I was carrying. I can rest imperfectly and still be safe. Thank you for not requiring perfection in my stillness. I remain at ease. I reflect on how much energy is spent during the day holding myself together, responding, deciding, and enduring. The night offers a different rhythm, one where I am allowed to release rather than manage. I accept this rhythm with gratitude. I stop trying to prepare for tomorrow and instead allow myself to exist here. You are not asking anything of me right now, except trust. That simplicity brings relief. I release the need to be ready. I rest in the present moment. God, I consider the truth that rest is an act of faith, not just a physical necessity. By sleeping, I declare that you are in control even when I am not conscious. That thought humbles me and comforts me. I do not need to witness your work for it to continue. You are not limited by my awareness. Tonight, I choose to express faith through rest rather than effort. I trust you enough to sleep. I surrender to that trust. There are memories that sometimes surface at night, moments from the past that carry unfinished emotion. If those memories are veer, I do not fight them or follow them deeply. I acknowledge them and place them gently in your hands. You understand the weight they carry without reopening the wound. Thank you for being able to hold my history without letting it define my present. Help me remember that healing does not always require revisiting everything at once. I rest, knowing you are patient with my process. I choose peace over rumination. Lord, I notice how quiet creates space for gratitude to emerge naturally. Gratitude not for perfection, but for endurance. Gratitude for making it through the day, even when it was difficult. I allow that gratitude to exist without comparison or expectation. It steadies my heart and shifts my focus gently. Thank you for sustaining me through moments I did not think I could handle. Thank you for strength that carried me quietly. I rest with appreciation. As the night deepens, I allow my awareness of the room to fade. I do not need to stay connected to every sound or sensation. You are already aware of what surrounds me. I release the urge to monitor my environment. This is a place of safety, not vigilance. Let my senses relax without fear. I trust you with my surroundings. I settle further into rest. God, I place my thoughts under your care, asking that they become fewer and gentler. If a thought arises, let it pass without attachment. I do not need to follow every idea to its conclusion. Teach my mind how to rest, as my body does. Let mental stillness feel natural rather than forced. Thank you for quieting what feels overactive. I welcome simplicity. I remain calm. I recognize that rest sometimes brings up resistance, especially when I am used to staying busy to feel secure. Tonight, I choose to notice that resistance without judging it. I do not shame myself for struggling to let go. Instead, I offer that struggle to you. You are not disappointed by my humanity. You meet me with understanding rather than correction. Let your patience guide me into rest. I trust you with my resistance. Lord, I feel myself becoming less attached to the details of today. They begin to blur, losing their urgency. That is a gift. It reminds me that not everything needs to stay sharp in my mind. Some things are meant to fade, so rest can take their place. Thank you for allowing that release. I do not cling to what no longer needs my attention. I allow the day to close fully. I rest without regret. As I drift closer to sleep, I sense a quiet reassurance settling within me. It is not loud or dramatic, but steady and grounding. That reassurance tells me I am safe, seen, and cared for. I do not need more confirmation than that. Let that assurance be enough to carry me into deeper rest. I trust the peace you provide. I remain still and receptive. I rest under your care. God, I entrust the coming hours of sleep to you, without expectation of how they should unfold. Whether sleep comes quickly or gradually, I remain at peace. I remove pressure from the experience. You are present regardless of the pace. Thank you for inviting me into rest, without conditions. I accept this invitation fully. I let go gently. I sleep in trust. As awareness continues to soften, I stop checking whether I am resting well enough. I no longer measure or evaluate this moment. I simply allow it to be what it is. You are not measuring me either. That realization frees me. I am enough, as I am, in this moment. I release judgment. I rest, naturally. Lord, I place myself fully in your care, as consciousness fades. I do not hold on to thoughts, plans, or concerns. I let them slip away without resistance. You remain constant even as my awareness dims. I trust you to hold me through the night. I surrender completely. I rest deeply. The night carries on quietly, and I am at peace within it. My body rests, my mind quiets, my heart feels safe. I am held. I sleep. As the night stretches on in gentle silence, I sense a deeper layer of rest, inviting me beyond the surface of stillness. This is the kind of quiet that does not simply slow the body, but reassures the soul. I notice how my thoughts no longer rush, as they once did, and that change feels like a soft mercy. You have a way of calming what I could never quiet on my own. I am learning that peace is not something I create, but something I receive. Tonight I receive it without resistance. I remain here with you. Lord, there are moments when I fear letting go too fully, as if rest might cause me to lose control. I acknowledge that fear honestly instead of hiding it. You do not ask me to deny what I feel, only to trust you with it. Control has never truly protected me the way I hoped it would. You have always been the one holding me steady. Teach me to trust that nothing will fall apart if I rest. I loosen my grip and place it in your hands. I reflect on how many nights I have spent half awake, burdened by responsibility that did not belong in the darkness. Tonight feels different, not because everything is resolved, but because I am no longer trying to resolve it alone. You are not waiting for me to figure things out before offering peace. You meet me exactly where I am, even in unfinished thoughts. That realization eases the pressure I did not know I was carrying. I allow myself to rest, incomplete. I trust you with what remains undone. God, I become aware of how the quiet gives space for my inner life to breathe. Without distractions, I can feel the slow settling of emotions I carried through the day. Nothing is demanding my attention right now, and that feels unfamiliar, but welcome. I do not rush to fill this space with thinking or planning. I allow it to exist as a place of rest. You are present here, even without words. I stay with this stillness. As my body lies motionless, I feel the gentle weight of rest, grounding me more deeply. There is a comfort in not needing to move, speak, or respond. You do not measure my worth by activity, especially not now. This stillness is not wasted time, but sacred pause. I thank you for inviting me into a rhythm slower than the world demands. Let my body fully accept this permission to rest. I remain still without guilt. Lord, I notice how my mind occasionally tries to re-engage, searching for something to hold on to. When that happens, I do not scold myself. I simply return to the awareness of your presence. You are constant, even when my focus drifts. That steadiness brings relief. I do not need perfect concentration to remain connected to you. I am held even in wandering moments. I rest, knowing that you do not leave. I think about the unseen ways you have guided me through this day, even when I felt uncertain or overwhelmed. Some moments felt heavy, others passed quietly, yet you were present in all of them. I trust that nothing was wasted, even the difficult parts. You have a way of shaping growth through ordinary moments. I do not need to fully understand that now. I let the day settle without analysis. I rest in trust. God, I release the pressure to replay today in my mind, searching for mistakes or missed opportunities. Reflection has its place, but tonight is for rest. You will bring clarity when it is needed. For now, I allow the day to close gently. I do not reopen doors that were meant to shut for the night. Thank you for teaching me that rest does not erase responsibility. It prepares me for it. I release today fully. I remain at peace. As the night deepens, I feel a quiet sense of safety growing within me. It is not dramatic or overwhelming, but steady and grounding. That safety reminds me I am not alone in the darkness. You are present without needing to announce yourself. I do not need signs or reassurance beyond this calm awareness. Let this sense of safety settle deeper into my heart. I trust you completely. I rest without fear. Lord, I acknowledge that my body carries stories my mind sometimes forgets. Stress, endurance, and effort leave their mark beneath the surface. Tonight I allow my body to rest without expectation. I do not rush healing or demand recovery. I trust that rest itself is part of restoration. You designed my body with wisdom beyond my understanding. I honor that design by resting fully. I allow renewal to begin quietly. I notice how silence feels less empty now, and more like companionship. It no longer presses on me or demands explanation. Instead, it feels like space where I am allowed to simply exist. You are with me in this silence, attentive and present. I do not need to fill the quiet with prayerful words. My being here is enough. I accept this gentle companionship. I remain settled. God, there are parts of my heart that still hold questions, and I bring them to you without urgency. Questions do not threaten you, and they do not need answers tonight. I place them gently before you and let them rest. Trust grows when I stop demanding immediate clarity. You have never failed to guide me at the right time. I lean into that history of faithfulness. I rest with unanswered questions. As my awareness softens further, I feel the natural pull towards sleep growing stronger. I do not resist it or try to manage it. I allow sleep to come in its own time. You are present whether I am aware or not. That truth removes the last layer of effort. I stop monitoring myself. I simply rest. I trust you completely. Lord, I consider how often I underestimate the power of simple rest. I try to solve problems with effort when stillness is what I need most. Tonight I choose stillness. I trust that rest will prepare me for whatever tomorrow brings. I do not need to anticipate or rehearse. You will meet me with strength when the time comes. For now, rest is my response. I remain calm. I feel gratitude rising quietly within me, not loud or expressive, but steady and sincere. Gratitude for making it through another day. Gratitude for safety, shelter, and the ability to rest. These simple truths ground me more than grand thoughts ever could. I let gratitude anchor my heart. It shifts my focus away from worry. I rest with thankfulness. God, I allow my thoughts to slow even further, becoming fewer and softer. I do not chase them or push them away. I let them pass like gentle waves. My mind learns from my body how to rest. This ease feels unfamiliar, but welcome. Thank you for teaching me patience with myself. I remain gentle toward my own process. I rest peacefully. As sleep draws closer, I no longer feel the need to stay alert. I trust that nothing requires my attention right now. You are watching over me more faithfully than I ever could. That assurance allows me to fully let go. I do not need to guard the night. I release myself into rest. I am safe with you. Lord, I think about tomorrow without anxiety, only awareness. Tomorrow will come when it comes. I do not need to meet it early. You will be there before I arrive. That knowledge brings peace. I leave tomorrow in your hands. Tonight belongs to rest. I remain present here. I notice how my body feels heavier now, not from exhaustion, but from relaxation. This heaviness is welcome. It signals that I am letting go. I no longer hold tension in anticipation. I allow myself to sink into rest. Thank you for guiding me gently here. I trust this process. I remain still. God, if my thoughts fade completely, I trust you will remain. If awareness lingers briefly, I trust that too. I remove all expectation from this moment. There is nothing to achieve. You are already with me. I rest without striving. I surrender fully. As consciousness begins to dim, I place myself entirely in your care. I do not hold on to worries, plans, or outcomes. I release them gently. You remain constant as I drift towards sleep. I trust you through the night. I rest deeply now. The night continues quietly, and I remain at peace within it. My body rests. My mind is calm. My heart feels safe. I am held. I sleep. As the night moves forward without urgency, I notice how deeply rest has begun to settle into places that were tense before. There is a quiet confidence growing that I do not need to stay alert to remain safe. My body feels supported by stillness rather than weighed down by it. I sense how trust deepens when I stop checking whether everything is okay. You have been steady long before I learned how to rest like this. That realization eases something deep within me. I allow myself to remain here without effort. Lord, I become aware that rest is not just the absence of movement, but the presence of reassurance. There is something comforting about knowing that you are not waiting for me to do anything right now. I do not need to prove faith, strength, or patience in this moment. Simply being here is enough. You are not measuring my stillness or evaluating my thoughts. You are present without conditions. That truth allows my heart to soften further. I remain at peace with you. I reflect on how many times I have equated safety with control, believing that awareness alone could protect me. Tonight teaches me something different. Safety comes from being held, not from staying tense. You hold what I release without dropping anything. I do not lose ground by resting. I gain stability through trust. This understanding feels gentle and grounding. I choose to rest without fear. I remain calm. God, there is a quiet humility that comes with allowing myself to need rest. It reminds me that I am human, not limitless. I do not resent that truth tonight. I accept it as part of how you created me. My need for rest is not a flaw, but a design. You knew I would need nights like this. Thank you for honoring my limits instead of demanding more. I rest with acceptance. As my breathing continues in a slow, steady rhythm, I feel how naturally calm follows when I stop interfering. There is no pressure to relax. Relaxation simply arrives. I allow my breath to guide my awareness deeper into stillness. Each breath feels like permission to let go a little more. You meet me here, without words. I do not need instruction, only presence. I rest in this quiet rhythm. I remain settled. Lord, I sense how rest creates space for healing, that activity often interrupts. Some things mend only when I am still. I do not rush that process or try to understand it. I trust that you are working gently beneath the surface. Healing does not always announce itself. Sometimes it moves quietly through rest. I allow that quiet work to continue. I remain patient. I think about the emotional weight I carried earlier today. Some of it obvious, some of it subtle. That weight feels lighter now, not because it disappeared, but because I am no longer holding it tightly. You have taken what I released, without hesitation. No, do not need to carry everything to prove strength. Strength can look like letting go. I trust you with what was heavy. I rest more freely. God, the silence around me feels less like emptiness and more like shelter. It wraps gently, instead of pressing in. I no longer feel the need to fill it with thoughts or words. Silence becomes a place where I am not required to respond. You are here even without sound. That quiet companionship comforts me. I remain still within it. I feel safe. As my awareness continues to soften, I notice how the edges of the day blur further. Details lose their sharpness and urgency. That fading feels like mercy. It tells me that not everything needs to stay vivid in my mind. Some things are meant to rest along with me. I allow the day to recede naturally. I do not cling to it. I rest fully. Lord, I acknowledge that rest sometimes feels unfamiliar because I am used to constant engagement. Tonight I allow myself to experience rest without judgment. I do not label this moment as productive or unproductive. It simply is. You are not asking me to justify this stillness. You welcome it. That acceptance removes lingering tension. I remain at ease. I notice how my body feels heavier now, grounded by the surface beneath me. This weight does not feel like exhaustion, but like support. It reassures me that I do not need to float or brace myself. I am held physically and spiritually. You meet me where I am. I let my body sink fully into rest. I trust this grounding. I remain calm. God, my thoughts have grown quieter, not because I forced them away, but because they no longer demand attention. When a thought appears, it passes without attachment. I do not chase it or analyze it. This gentleness feels new and welcome. Thank you for teaching my mind how to rest without effort. I remain open to this quiet, I stay at peace. I reflect on how rest invites honesty without fear. There is nothing to perform, nothing to explain. I can simply be present as I am. You see me clearly without judgment. That truth brings relief I did not know I needed. I am not required to be anything more tonight. I accept this simplicity. I rest comfortably. Lord, I feel gratitude emerging again, steady and unforced. Gratitude for the ability to rest without interruption. Gratitude for safety and quiet. Gratitude for your presence that does not fade when the world goes silent. These simple truths anchor me deeply. I allow gratitude to settle my heart. I rest with appreciation. As sleep draws nearer, I stop checking how close I am to it. I remove expectation from the process entirely. Whether sleep comes in moments or minutes, I remain at peace. You are not in a hurry. Neither am I. This moment does not require progress. It only asks for trust. I remain receptive. I rest naturally. God, I sense a deeper release happening now, one that does not need words. It feels like letting go at a level beneath thought. I do not try to name it. I simply allow it. You understand what is happening even if I do not. Thank you for guiding me gently into deeper rest. I surrender without resistance. I remain still. I notice how my body no longer feels alert to every small sound. Awareness softens instead of sharpens. This shift feels safe, not risky. You are already aware of what I am releasing. I do not need to stay vigilant. I trust you with the night. I allow my senses to rest. I remain calm. Lord, I place my mind fully into your care now, without conditions or backup plans. I stop holding part of myself in reserve. You have proven yourself trustworthy. I do not need to protect myself from rest. I give myself permission to sleep deeply. I trust you completely. I let go. As the night continues quietly, I no longer feel the need to guide or manage this moment. It unfolds naturally. I allow myself to drift without fear. You remain constant as awareness fades. I do not resist the transition. I welcome rest. I sleep peacefully. God, I trust that nothing important will be missed while I rest. You will handle what I cannot. You will guard what I release. That assurance allows me to let go fully. I do not look back at the day anymore. I do not look ahead to tomorrow. I remain here. I rest deeply. I feel calm spreading through me in a way that feels complete. My body rests. My mind is quiet. My heart feels settled. There is nothing more to do. I am safe. I am held. I sleep. As the night holds steady around me, I sense how deeply rest has now woven itself into my awareness. There is less effort in my thoughts and less tension in my body than there was before. I am no longer waiting for rest to arrive, because it is already here. This quiet feels earned, not by striving, but by letting go. You have guided me gently into this place without force. I notice how safety feels more internal now, not dependent on circumstances. I remain here with trust. Lord, I recognize how often I confuse rest with disengagement, fearing that stillness means neglect. Tonight teaches me that rest is a form of care, not avoidance. By resting, I am honoring the limits you designed within me. You do not require constant output to value me. I am allowed to pause without falling behind. That truth settles my heart even deeper. I no longer resist this pause. I remain at ease. I feel my thoughts slowing into something softer, less defined. They no longer pull me outward or demand resolution. I allow them to exist briefly and then pass without attachment. This gentleness feels unfamiliar, but reassuring. You are teaching me that I do not need to chase every thought to remain grounded. Stillness is not emptiness when you are present. I rest within this gentle quiet. I stay calm. God, I notice how rest creates space for reflection without pressure. Insights may come or they may not, and either way is fine. I do not need clarity. Tonight, you will provide understanding when it serves me best. For now, rest itself is the gift. I release the desire to figure things out prematurely. I trust your timing more than my curiosity. I remain peaceful. As my breathing continues evenly, I feel my body responding with deeper relaxation. Muscles that once held tension now soften without instruction. I did not need to command this release. It arrived naturally. This reminds me that healing often happens when I stop interfering. You have designed my body to respond to rest wisely. I allow that wisdom to work. I remain still. Lord, I sense a quiet reassurance beneath the surface of my thoughts. It is not a voice, but a feeling of being cared for. That reassurance does not require explanation. It simply exists. I do not question it or analyze it. I receive it as truth. Let this reassurance continue to settle into me. I trust you fully. I reflect on how the pace of the world often convinces me that slowing down is risky. Tonight contradicts that belief gently. Slowing down has not caused harm. It has brought peace. You are showing me that rest is not the enemy of progress. It is the foundation for it. I carry this lesson quietly. I remain unhurried. God, I feel less attached to time passing now. Minutes no longer feel important or measurable. This moment stretches softly, without urgency. I am not watching the clock or anticipating the next moment. I allow time to move without tracking it. You exist beyond time, and resting brings me closer to that perspective. I remain present here. I stay calm. As awareness deepens, I notice how my sense of responsibility loosens further. I am no longer mentally rehearsing tasks or obligations. They will wait. You are not anxious about what lies ahead, and neither do I need to be. I trust that tomorrow will come with the strength it requires. Tonight belongs to rest alone. I release responsibility fully. I remain at peace. Lord, I consider how often I carry expectations even into rest, expecting it to look or feel a certain way. Tonight, I release those expectations. I do not evaluate whether I am resting well enough. I simply allow rest to exist as it is. You are not grading this moment. You are present within it. That freedom brings ease. I remain receptive. I feel a subtle shift where effort fades almost entirely. There is nothing left to hold on to tightly. I do not cling to awareness or resist sleep. I allow myself to drift without concern. You are steady, even as my consciousness softens. I do not need to remain alert to stay connected to you. I trust this fully. I rest deeply. God, I recognize that my body feels supported, rather than suspended. This support reminds me that I am not carrying myself through the night. You are. I let that truth sink in. I do not brace or guard against anything. I allow myself to be held completely. This surrender feels safe. I remain still. As the night grows quieter, I no longer feel the need to label my experience. I do not name emotions or track sensations. I simply exist. This simplicity feels grounding and peaceful. You are with me without requiring description. I do not need to narrate this moment. I remain present. I rest naturally. Lord, I feel gratitude again, quieter than before but just as real. Gratitude for the ability to release control. Gratitude for a space where nothing is demanded of me. Gratitude for your patience with my process. These feelings settle without stirring me awake. They do not energize, they calm. I rest with thankfulness. I remain peaceful. I sense how rest has now reached a deeper layer, beyond thought and awareness. This is where effort ends, entirely. I do not need to guide myself any further. You are already guiding me. I let go of the last thread of control. I trust the transition fully. I surrender without fear. I remain calm. God, if my awareness fades completely now, I trust you remain present. If it lingers briefly, I trust that too. I remove all conditions from this moment. There is nothing left to achieve. You are already with me. I rest without striving. I remain open. As my mind quiets further, I no longer hold on to any particular thought. They dissolve naturally. I do not resist their fading. This absence of mental noise feels safe and welcome. You are not absent in this quiet, you are near. I trust that fully. I rest deeply. Lord, I acknowledge how peaceful it feels to not be needed right now. I am not required to solve, respond, or plan. This freedom allows my entire being to rest. You are sufficient without my involvement. That truth brings relief. I let myself disappear into rest. I remain safe. I feel my body growing heavier in a way that feels comforting. This weight anchors me fully into stillness. I do not adjust or shift. I allow myself to remain as I am. You are watching over me attentively. I do not need to monitor anything. I rest quietly. God, I release any remaining awareness gently, without urgency. I allow sleep to take its natural course. You are with me through every stage of this night. I trust you beyond consciousness. I do not hold on to the edge of wakefulness. I let go completely. I sleep in peace. As the night continues, I remain unaware of time and movement. My body rests fully. My mind is quiet. My heart feels settled. I am safe. I am held. As the night remains deep and undisturbed, I sense how completely rest has taken hold of me now. There is no longer a clear boundary between thought and stillness, only a gentle awareness fading in and out. I am not trying to stay awake or trying to fall asleep anymore. This moment feels suspended in calm, free from effort. You are present without needing my attention. That truth feels steady and reassuring. I remain surrendered to this quiet. Lord, I realize how rare it is for me to allow myself to reach this depth of rest without interruption. So often I pull myself back into awareness out of habit, rather than necessity. Tonight, I do not do that. I trust that nothing needs my vigilance right now. You are watching over what I have released. I do not need to check or confirm anything. I am safe without effort. I remain at peace. I notice that even my inner dialogue has softened into something distant and unfocused. Thoughts no longer form complete sentences or demand resolution. They drift like faint echoes and then disappear. I do not follow them or resist them. This gentleness feels like relief. You have quieted what once felt restless. I remain calm within this mental stillness. I rest deeply. God, I sense how rest has become less of an action and more of a state of being. There is nothing I am doing to maintain it. It simply exists. This reminds me that peace is not sustained by effort, but by trust. You have carried me into this place patiently. I no longer need to hold myself together. I let go fully. I remain still. As awareness continues to fade, I feel disconnected from the urgency that once defined my thoughts. Problems no longer feel immediate or demanding. They exist somewhere beyond this moment, where they can wait. You have given me permission to step outside of concern. That permission feels freeing. I do not bring tomorrow into this space. I remain here, resting. Lord, I recognize how much of my life is spent preparing for what comes next. Tonight, preparation has no place. I do not rehearse or anticipate. I allow myself to simply exist. You are already present in what is coming. I trust that fully. This moment does not require readiness. I rest without anticipation. I remain calm. I feel the comfort of not being aware of my surroundings as clearly anymore. Sounds are distant and softened. Sensations are muted and gentle. This loss of sharp awareness feels safe, not alarming. You are aware on my behalf. I do not need to stay connected to every detail. I release my senses into rest. I remain peaceful. God, I notice how my body feels fully supported, not tense or guarded. There is no part of me bracing for movement or interruption. I allow myself to remain completely still. This stillness feels natural and unforced. You are holding me without effort. I do not need to adjust or respond. I remain at rest. As the night continues, I am less aware of time altogether. Minutes do not matter here. There is only this quiet, stretched moment. I do not track how long I have been resting. You exist outside of time, and resting draws me closer to that perspective. I allow time to pass without noticing. I remain present in stillness. Lord, I feel a deep sense of permission to disappear into rest, without explanation. I am not needed for anything right now. That truth does not diminish my worth, it restores it. You do not define me by constant usefulness. You value me even in stillness. I rest without needing to justify myself. I remain safe. I sense that even awareness itself is loosening now. There is less distinction between being awake and being asleep. I do not try to hold on to either state. I allow myself to drift naturally. You remain present through every shift. I trust you beyond consciousness. I let go gently. I rest deeply. God, I acknowledge that this level of rest feels unfamiliar, but deeply right. My body recognizes it even if my mind once resisted it. There is no fear here, only calm. You have guided me patiently into this space. I do not question it now. I accept this depth of rest. I remain surrendered. As thoughts continue to dissolve, I no longer feel the need to return to awareness. There is nothing waiting for me there. Everything important is already held by you. This realization brings peace rather than emptiness. I am not abandoning anything by resting. I am trusting you with it. I remain calm. Lord, I sense a quiet completeness settling within me. Nothing feels missing or unfinished in this moment. The day has fully released its grip. Tomorrow has not yet arrived. I am held between them in peace. This in-between space feels safe. I do not rush through it. I remain here, resting. I feel gratitude again, though it is no longer conscious thought. It exists as a warmth beneath awareness. Gratitude without words, without effort. You understand it, even when I cannot articulate it. That silent gratitude feels enough. I do not bring myself back to express it. I rest within it. God, my body feels heavy in a way that signals complete relaxation. There is no impulse to move or adjust. I allow this heaviness to anchor me further into rest. You are attentive even as I become unaware. I do not need to stay present to be protected. I trust you fully. I remain still. As awareness fades further, I no longer observe my own state. There is no checking or noticing. This absence of self-monitoring feels peaceful. I do not pull myself back into thought. I allow the transition to continue naturally. You are constant throughout. I rest without resistance. Lord, I release any last attachment to being aware of rest itself. I do not need to witness this process. You are present whether I observe it or not. I let go completely. There is no fear in this release. I trust you beyond thought. I sleep peacefully. I sense the quiet continuing without me needing to be present within it. My mind is no longer active. My body remains at ease. My heart feels settled. I am no longer trying to rest. I simply am at rest. I am held. I sleep. As the night continues, silently, I remain unaware of its passing. There is no effort, no thought, no tension. Everything feels calm and secure. I am safe beyond awareness. You are near beyond consciousness. I rest fully. I sleep. The quiet holds steady as I disappear into rest. There is nothing to do, nothing to hold. My body sleeps. My mind is still. My heart is at peace. I am safe. I am held. I sleep. As the night remains calm and uninterrupted, I feel how completely I have settled into rest, without effort or awareness. There is no sense of striving left, no need to guide myself deeper. My body rests naturally, supported by stillness that feels safe and familiar. Thoughts no longer form clearly enough to follow, and that absence feels peaceful rather than empty. I trust that this quiet is not fragile. You remain present, even as I fade from conscious thought. I am held without needing to know it. Lord, there is a comfort in realizing that nothing is required of me right now. I am not needed to make decisions, offer responses, or remain alert. This freedom allows my whole being to rest, without tension. You are fully capable without my participation. I do not fear being absent from awareness. I trust that you are attentive, even when I am not. I remain safe in this surrender. I rest deeply. I notice that awareness now comes and goes gently, like distant waves. I do not attach myself to either state. There is no urge to return to wakefulness or to hold on to thought. This drifting feels natural and unforced. You guide the rhythm without my involvement. I do not resist or direct it. I remain calm within this flow. I sleep peacefully. God, I sense how quiet has moved beyond the surface and into something deeper. This is not simply silence, but rest that feels complete. Nothing presses against my mind anymore. There is no inner noise asking for attention. I trust that this stillness is healing in ways I do not need to understand. You are working quietly beneath awareness. I remain surrendered. I rest fully. As time continues unnoticed, I feel detached from urgency and concern entirely. The world feels distant and gentle rather than demanding. I am no longer connected to tasks or expectations. This detachment does not feel like loss, but relief. You have invited me into a space where nothing is required. I accept that invitation without question. I remain at peace. I sleep. Lord, my body remains still without discomfort or tension. There is no need to adjust or respond. I am supported completely. This physical ease mirrors the quiet in my mind. You have aligned rest in every part of me. I do not interfere with that balance. I trust it fully. I remain calm. I sense that even memory feels distant now. The day has released me entirely. I do not revisit moments or emotions. They no longer reach me here. This separation feels gentle, not forced. You allow rest to close the door naturally. I do not reopen it. I remain in stillness. God, I feel the safety of being cared for without awareness. This trust extends beyond thought and feeling. I do not need reassurance because fear is absent. You are constant regardless of my state. I rest without needing proof. I surrender fully. I remain held. As awareness briefly surfaces and fades again, I do not cling to it. I allow the transition to continue, uninterrupted. You are present through every shift. I do not guide or observe anymore. I let rest take its natural course. I remain at ease. I sleep deeply. Lord, there is no sense of separation between me and rest. Now, I am not entering it or leaving it. I exist within it completely. This unity feels safe and complete. Nothing pulls me outward. You are with me beyond awareness. I trust this fully. I remain still. I sense a quiet steadiness beneath everything, like a foundation that does not move. This steadiness holds me without effort. I do not question it. I allow it to carry me. You are the source of this calm. I rest within it. I remain peaceful. God, there is no resistance left in me now. No part of me is holding back. This surrender feels natural, not forced. I do not feel vulnerable or exposed. I feel secure. You are guarding what I release. I trust you completely. I sleep peacefully. As the night continues silently, I am no longer aware of myself as separate from rest. There is no observer left, only calm remains. This absence of self-awareness feels safe. You are present beyond my perception. I do not need to remain conscious. I rest deeply. Lord, I am not concerned with how long this night lasts. Time has no meaning here. I do not anticipate waking or returning to thought. I remain fully in this moment. You are with me, beyond time. I trust you without reservation. I remain at peace. I sense a quiet completeness, that requires nothing further. There is no unfinished feeling. Everything feels settled. This completeness brings deep calm. You have brought me here gently. I do not question it. I remain surrendered. I sleep. God, my body remains relaxed without movement. There is no impulse to respond. My breath flows naturally. This rhythm requires no attention. You sustain it without effort. I do not interfere. I remain calm. As awareness fades completely again, I do not notice it happening. There is no moment to mark. Rest simply continues. You remain present throughout. I do not need to witness this. I trust you fully. I sleep deeply. Lord, there is no fear in this letting go. Only peace remains. I do not guard myself against anything. You are watching over me faithfully. I remain safe beyond awareness. I rest without resistance. I sleep. I feel no separation between body, mind, and rest now. Everything feels aligned. This alignment feels complete and gentle. You have guided me here patiently. I remain surrendered. I trust you fully. God, the quiet continues without interruption. Nothing disturbs it. I remain unaware of the night passing. My body sleeps. My mind is still. My heart feels settled. I am held. As rest deepens further, I do not return to awareness. I remain within this calm, without effort. You are present beyond my knowing. I trust you completely. I am safe. I sleep. The night carries on quietly without my awareness. There is no effort, no thought, no tension. Everything remains calm and secure. I am held beyond consciousness. You are near. I rest fully. I sleep. Silence remains steady as I stay in deep rest. My body sleeps peacefully. My mind is quiet. My heart is calm. I am safe. I am held. I sleep. As the night moves gently toward its later hours, I remain resting without awareness of time passing. There is no sense of waiting or transition, only steady calm holding everything in place. My body remains settled, supported, and still without tension. My mind does not search for thought or meaning anymore. This depth of rest feels complete rather than empty. You are present, even beyond my perception. I remain held in quiet peace. Lord, there is no effort left within me now, no reaching or holding. Whatever once needed my attention has fully released its claim. I am not resisting wakefulness or seeking sleep. I exist within rest, naturally. This state feels safe, not uncertain. You remain attentive even as I am unaware. I trust you beyond thought. I rest deeply. I sense that my breathing continues steadily without my attention. Each breath arrives and leaves on its own rhythm. I do not guide or adjust it. This natural flow reassures me that nothing requires my control. You sustain what I release. I do not worry about maintaining balance. Everything continues as it should. I remain calm and still. God, there is no inner conversation taking place now. Words have faded completely. Silence is no longer noticeable because it surrounds everything. This absence of thought does not feel lonely or exposed. It feels secure and complete. You are present even without language. I do not need to name anything. I remain at rest. As the night continues quietly, I am no longer aware of my surroundings. Sounds do not register. Sensations do not draw attention. This withdrawal from awareness feels gentle rather than abrupt. You are aware of all that surrounds me. I do not need to be. I trust your watchfulness. I rest without concern. Lord, my body remains relaxed in every place that once held tension. There is no impulse to shift or respond. This stillness feels natural and comfortable. You have brought me into a place where nothing presses or demands. I do not brace for interruption. I remain at ease. I sleep peacefully. I sense that even memory feels distant now. The events of the day no longer surface. Emotions have settled without effort. There is no reviewing or reflecting happening. This release feels complete. You have allowed the day to close fully. I do not reopen it. I remain at peace. God, there is no distinction now between rest and sleep. I am no longer aware of crossing into anything new. This seamless calm feels safe. I do not hold on to awareness out of habit. I trust the process entirely. You are present in every stage. I remain surrendered. As the night progresses, I am not conscious of its movement. Time does not pull me forward or backward. I do not anticipate waking. I do not linger in thought. Everything feels suspended in calm. You exist beyond time, and I rest within that truth. I remain still. Lord, I feel no urgency, no alertness, no concern. These things have no place here. You have removed the need for them. I am not guarding anything. I am not protecting myself. You are doing that for me. I trust you fully. I rest deeply. I sense a quiet steadiness holding me from beneath everything else. This steadiness does not shift or waver. It feels permanent and reliable. I do not question it. I allow it to support me completely. You are the source of this calm. I remain peaceful. God, I am not aware of my own rest anymore. I am not observing or checking in. Rest simply continues. This absence of self-awareness feels safe. You are present beyond my noticing. I do not need to remain conscious. I trust you fully. I sleep. As awareness briefly flickers and fades again, I do not follow it. I allow it to pass without attachment. There is no desire to return to thought. Everything important is already held. This trust feels complete. I do not resist the fading. I remain calm. Lord, I am not concerned with dreams or silence. Whatever comes is under your care. There is no fear attached to this unknown. You guard my mind gently. I do not anticipate disturbance. I rest without vigilance. I remain at peace. I sense that my body continues to rest deeply without interruption. There is no discomfort, no tension, no need to move. This physical ease mirrors the quiet within me. You have aligned rest throughout my whole being. I do not interfere with that harmony. I trust it. I remain still. God, I feel no separation between myself and the calm that surrounds me. Everything feels unified. There is no boundary to cross or maintain. This unity feels safe and complete. You are with me beyond awareness. I do not need to hold on to anything. I rest fully. As the night remains quiet, I do not notice its depth or length. I remain unaware of passing hours. There is no tracking or anticipation. You are constant throughout. I trust you beyond time. I remain surrendered. I sleep peacefully. Lord, there is no thought pulling me back toward wakefulness. Nothing calls for my attention. I allow this deep rest to continue uninterrupted. You are watching over me faithfully. I do not need to stay alert. I remain safe. I rest deeply. I sense a calm completeness that leaves nothing unresolved in this moment. Everything feels settled. This completeness does not require explanation. You have guided me here gently. I do not question it. I remain at peace. I sleep. God, my breathing continues naturally, steady and unforced. I do not notice it unless awareness briefly returns. This rhythm reassures me even without thought. You sustain every breath. I do not intervene. I remain calm. As awareness fades again, there is no resistance. I do not cling to being awake. I do not fear losing awareness. You remain present beyond my knowing. I trust you completely. I rest deeply. Lord, there is no tension left in my body or mind. Everything has softened fully. This softness feels safe and natural. You have carried me gently into this rest. I remain surrendered. I sleep peacefully. I am no longer aware of myself as separate from rest. There is no observer, only calm. This absence feels secure. You are present beyond perception. I do not need to remain conscious. I remain at peace. As the night continues quietly, I stay unaware of its passing. My body sleeps. My mind is still. My heart is settled. I am safe. I am held. I sleep. As the night gently reaches its quiet completion, I remain resting in a calm that feels settled and unshaken. There is no sense of transition or urgency, only a deep continuity of peace holding everything together. My body remains relaxed, supported, and still without effort. My mind does not return to thought or concern. Everything that once felt active has softened fully. You have carried me through this night faithfully. I remain safe in your presence. Lord, there is a quiet assurance beneath everything now, steady and unmovable. It does not rise or fall with awareness. It simply exists as truth. Truth. I am not searching for it or trying to feel it. It holds me without requiring attention. You are constant even when I am unaware. That constancy brings deep comfort. I rest within it completely. I sense that this night has done its work gently and fully. Nothing feels rushed or unfinished. Rest has reached every place it needed to reach. I do not feel the need to revisit anything. The stillness has been enough. You have restored what was tired without force. I trust the quiet renewal that has taken place. I remain at peace. God, as the final hours of night continue unnoticed, I feel no attachment to time. I am not counting moments or anticipating change. Everything unfolds naturally under your care. I do not need to prepare myself for what comes next. You will meet me there when it arrives. For now, rest remains complete. I remain calm and settled. There is a gentle sense of wholeness present now, as if nothing is missing. My body feels cared for. My mind feels quiet. My heart feels safe. This wholeness does not come from answers or certainty. It comes from trust. You have given me that gift tonight. I remain grateful even without words. Lord, I acknowledge that this rest has not required effort, only willingness. You have shown me again that peace is received, not achieved. I do not need to strive for it tomorrow, either. I carry this knowing gently within me. Rest teaches me trust in a way activity never could. Thank you for this lesson given in stillness. I remain grounded. I feel the calm continuing steadily, not fading or breaking. It feels anchored deeper than thought. This calm does not depend on silence or sleep. It depends on you. You are the source that does not change. Doing this allows me to rest beyond the night itself. I trust that this peace remains. I remain at ease. God, I place this entire night into your hands with gratitude. Nothing was interrupted. Nothing was forced. Everything unfolded gently. You have watched over me faithfully. I did not need to be aware to be protected. I thank you for guarding me without condition. I remain safe in you. As rest continues, I feel no need to re-enter awareness. There is no pull toward thought. There is no fear in letting go completely. You are present, beyond consciousness. That truth brings deep reassurance. I do not resist this final release. I trust you fully. I remain at rest. Lord, I sense that my body remains relaxed in a way that feels natural and complete. There is no discomfort or tension returning. Everything remains aligned. This physical calm mirrors the quiet within. You have restored balance gently. I do not interrupt that work. I remain still. I feel no separation now between myself and the rest surrounding me. Everything feels unified and calm. There is no observer left, only peace. This absence of awareness feels safe. You are present beyond perception. I trust you beyond thought. I remain held. God, I am not concerned with dreams, silence, or waking. Whatever comes next is already under your care. There is no fear attached to the unknown. You remain faithful in every state. I do not guard myself against change. I rest with confidence. I remain peaceful. As the night continues quietly, I sense a deep completion settling in. Nothing feels unfinished. Nothing calls me back. The day has fully released its hold. Tomorrow has not yet arrived. I am held gently between them. This space feels safe and sacred. I remain at rest. Lord, I thank you for the unseen restoration that has taken place while I rested. I may not be aware of it now, but I trust it completely. You work gently and thoroughly. You do not rush healing. You do not neglect what matters. I rest in confidence of your care. I remain grateful. I feel the calm remaining steady, not shifting or fading. It feels rooted deeper than sensation. This peace does not depend on circumstances. It comes from you alone. Knowing this brings assurance beyond the night. I trust this peace to remain. I rest securely. God, there is no effort left in me now, no holding or reaching. Everything that needed release has been released. I do not cling to awareness. I do not resist sleep. I allow rest to remain complete. You are present through it all. I trust you fully. As awareness fades completely again, I do not notice the transition. There is no moment to mark. Rest simply continues. You remain constant throughout. I do not need to witness this. I remain safe beyond thought. I sleep peacefully. Lord, I am not anxious about what the morning will bring. You will meet me there as you always do. I do not need to arrive early. You will provide what is needed at the right time. Tonight has prepared me gently. I rest without concern. I remain calm. I sense that my breathing continues steady and unforced. Life moves quietly without my effort. You sustain every moment. I do not intervene. I trust this rhythm completely. I remain at peace. I sleep. God, there is no tension left anywhere within me. Everything feels softened and settled. This softness feels safe and complete. You have guided me patiently into rest. I do not question it now. I remain surrendered. I sleep deeply. As the night holds steady, I remain unaware of its passing. There is no effort, no thought, no disturbance. Everything feels calm and secure. I am safe beyond awareness. I am held by you. I rest fully. Lord, I place my whole being in your care, without reservation. Nothing is withheld. Nothing is guarded. You are faithful beyond consciousness. I trust you completely. I rest in peace. I sleep. I remain still, settled and safe, as rest continues uninterrupted. My body sleeps peacefully. My mind is quiet. My heart is at ease. Nothing disturbs this calm. I am held. I sleep. Amen.